Hello and welcome to Jay Jarvis Life Coaching. I hope you really enjoyed the last video last week. I am very excited to continue to share videos with you, and I wanted to begin my video series with a video on a very important topic to me, one that also gets shared in the second pillar of what Jay Jarvis Life Coaching does, which is the life purpose coaching. Therein, we talk a little bit about societal conditioning, and that's sort of kind of what I want to talk with you about today, and just a brief sort of summary, if you will. And then, of course, how that fits into the larger picture called life purpose. So, from a very young age, childhood upbringing, if you will, societal conditioning plays a very large role in that. Society, which includes your family, they expect you to fit into a specific box of characteristics, abilities, hobbies, etc. You have to be athletic, you have to be smart, you have to do things, and they're building these boxes for you that they're trying to put you into. And when you don't fit those, or when you try to escape those boxes, society tends to get upset, push back, because the real reason is we as humans, we like to label people. We like to be able to say, oh, that person is this or that person is that, because it allows us a form of control over somebody and over somebody's life, or at least the illusion of control over somebody's life. So when we then try to escape these boxes, they get upset, or they get angry, or they might stop talking to you. But the reality is, in order to be able to pursue our life purpose, we have to be able to break out of those expectations, break out of those boxes that we are put in from very early on. And the fact is, again, like I said earlier, all of our actions, most of our actions, I should say, and most of our beliefs and most of our values are shaped by somebody else in our life. There's a lot of people who say things like, back in the day, my grandfather did this, so I do this. Or back in the day, my grandmother taught me to do this, so that's why I do this. And the fact of the matter is, that could possibly serve you in your life purpose journey, or it could not. I'm not saying that anything and everything that society has given you, or any and all boxes that society is trying to put in, are necessarily bad boxes. But what we have to do, what is our task, is to reflect on all of those boxes, all those beliefs, all of those actions, and all those values, and really kind of determine what serves us and what doesn't serve us. That's really the key. So which of those values, which of those beliefs, which of those things that I'm holding on to are actually going to serve me in my journey, in my life purpose journey, and which are really kind of holding me back from realizing my true potential. And I will say this, the reflecting on these kinds of things is very challenging at times, because even if those beliefs and those actions and those values, if they hold us back, they still provide some level of comfort, because that's how things have been for however many years. That's why all of that is really called our comfort zone. And here we are again, society putting you in a box, comfort zone. And you really kind of have to unbox that box, if you will. And what I mean by that is, again, just as if you were moving from one house to a different house, you pack up your stuff, but then you also you have to unbox, all of your moving boxes and kind of put things in place, etc., and so on. And it's just like that with societal conditioning too. Okay, so here are my beliefs in this box and everything. Do they work for me? Are they going to continue to bring value to my life? And if they don't, throw them away. Just like you would with that old book that you really don't read anymore and you're like, screw it, I don't need it, right? That's kind of the process. So breaking out of your comfort zone and really taking an honest and authentic look into, these are my beliefs, my values, and my actions right now. This is where I'd like to go, and then say, okay, this is helping and this isn't helping, and then feel okay with throwing those beliefs and those actions and everything and those values out the door if they don't serve where you're trying to get to. So as you're kind of considering this, as you're kind of thinking about this, some of the questions that you can ask yourself that kind of help with that reflection on what serves and what doesn't serve are just an honest and open look at things. So a question that you could ask yourself is, what roles do you play on the stage of life? Okay, so, are you dad? Are you mom? Are you grandma, grandpa? Are you a mailman? Are you this? Are you that? And just kind of really taking an honest and in-depth look on what roles you're playing in life. What is it that makes essentially you, right? And then really kind of categorize those things a little. Here we are categorizing, right? But then for each of those roles, where did you learn to play the role, or who told you or who modeled for you how to play that role? And reflect on that. Maybe grandpa taught you how to shoot a gun or whatever, stuff like that, right? So then the next question after that is, how would these roles need to look for you to feel that you're living in alignment with your true self? How would these roles need to look for you to feel that you're living in alignment with your true self? So you have all of these roles that you previously thought about and reflected on, and you kind of know where you want to go with your life. Maybe you don't, but that's okay. But how does that have to look going forward for you to feel comfortable and for you to really feel like that's leading you to the path of life purpose? And then another question is, who, if anyone, would be affected by you letting go of or changing the roles that don't serve you? So if you're looking at those roles and you're like, oh, this doesn't help me anymore, who would be affected by you changing that? So like, okay, if your grandpa taught you how to shoot a gun and you're like, I don't want to do that anymore because it doesn't serve me, grandpa's going to be affected. And then how are you going to deal with that? I'm going to think about that as well. And then, is there any benefits that you're getting from maintaining the roles in the way that they are currently? Like, what is the benefit that you're getting from knowing how to shoot a gun, or knowing how to underwater basket weave, or whatever it is that you do? And please don't feel like I'm picking on the guns. I'm just kind of throwing that out there because that's what comes to mind, because that's a debate that's in the news now, but that's not what this is about. What benefits would you get from removing or changing a specific role? Like, maybe you're eliminating a role. Maybe you are changing how a role is done. Just kind of reflecting all on those things, right? And those things are really the key. And that's kind of how you start changing and evolving and moving out of that comfort zone that you're in, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get out of it? And how do I progress? And how do I get to my life's purpose? And like I said before, I'm not saying that you have to do this alone. If you need help, if you have questions, if you have comments on any of the questions I asked or any of the information that I shared, please feel free to get in touch with me. My contact information is on that first video that I had posted, and I'd love to have a conversation with you, a discussion with you, give you some pointers and things like that, or even work with you, set up a Zoom call or whatever have you, because that's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm here to help. So that's what I wanted to talk about on societal conditioning, and again, unbox the box of your comfort zone and you'll get there. Thank you so much for watching. Have an excellent day, and please if you feel so inclined, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.